Arsene, big game coming up at the weekend. Could you let us know your team news, please?
Well, basically we have just Arteta back because he was suspended. Gnabry, who has not been available for Tuesday, will not be available. And all the other long-term injuries are not back. Not Walcott, not Chamberlain, not Podolski. Of course, Diaby, all these players were not back.
Could you give us an update on Flamini, how long he's likely to be out?
Flamini is a short-term injury, but he could be available for Manchester United.
So he's out for this
He's out for tomorrow and he's out for Dortmund.
Could you tell us the mood in your camp at the moment? It must have been a disappointing defeat in midweek to Chelsea.
Yeah, but the mood is very strong, very united, and as well very focused. We know where our priorities are. It is in the Premiership and in the Champions League, and we are in a strong position in the Premier League, of course, and that's why our mood is positive.
And just finally from me, your assessment of Brendan Rodgers and the job he's done, particularly this season at Anfield, there's been a change, it seems.
He's at a massive club, and in his first year he had ups and downs, but you could still feel, even in the first year, that he had a style of play that he wanted to push through, and he manages that now in a more consistent way, and could see that the results are positive.
Arsene, hi. This is only your second match against a top 10 Premier League team. In the wake of what happened against Chelsea in particular, what do you think this match will tell us about Arsenal's credentials for the title?
It's a big game for us and massively important, but I don't worry for where the teams are, you know, between the team who is 14th and the team who is 8th. There are 2 points or 3 points. So the table at the moment has no real significance.
The table suggests it's a match between two title contenders, is that not right?
Sorry?
The table suggests this is a match between two title contending teams, is that not
Yes,
right?
of course. But of course, we want to be, and I think we are title contenders, and Liverpool as well. And you have four other teams, certainly, or 5, who will be title contenders this year.
Luis Suarez comes to the Emirates Stadium with 6 goals in 4 games. Brendan Rodgers says he's playing even better than before his ban. Do you agree with that?
I don't know. He played quite well before that. You know, if some clubs were interested to buy him, it's because he played well before as well.
Your chase of him in the summer was very public. Is he a
No, you made it very public. I didn't make it. I didn't make anything public.
Is he still a player that you cherish and would love to have in your team?
Look, he plays for Liverpool tomorrow. You know that as well. And as you said, at the moment he's doing very well. What is important for me is that players who play for Arsenal really, not those who could play for Arsenal. And what is very important is the players who play tomorrow against Luis Suarez.
But did your interest in Suarez end in the summer? Or is he someone you could go back to, would go back to try and sign?
No, I'm not focused on that now. You know, what is important for me 24 hours before the game is that I believe that Giroud has proven since the start of the season that he's an exceptional striker, and I'm convinced that he will be up for it to show that tomorrow again.
And how would you compare Giroud and Suarez?
But different styles, different style of players. Giroud is a real centre forward who uses well that space and uses his power, and he's a really central. Suarez is more a player who goes on the flanks, who comes deep into midfield, and he's more a dribbler.
Arsene, when you were talking of all these wins after the defeat to Aston Villa, did you sort of look at this lot of games and think, this is where I'm going to find out a lot about my squad this season?
You know, in this kind of games that we play tomorrow, of course, you always find out a lot about your squad. I don't need to find out too much about my squad because we are a very stable team. who since the 1st of January 2013 has taken more points than anybody else. And so I learned a lot about my team through the spring period, when we were back to the wall and had to win every single game. And there again, I know how strong these guys are and how much they want it.
And Suarez and Sturridge, there aren't many proper strike partnerships in the Premier League at the moment. Something you have to deal with on Saturday as well.
You're right. I accept that. That one of the targets of the game is to keep these two players quiet, because they are certainly among the top strikers in the league.
And finally, UEFA this week have decided that there will be a section closed in CSKA Moscow's next game in Europe. Have they gone far enough?
It's very difficult. You know, first thing I believe it's very positive that they take action and they show they are sensitive to that subject, and they have my complete support. Personally, I would like individually people who abuse other people through racist chants to be punished even more than the club. I think we have today the modern technology to isolate people who chant, and I would personally prefer much more that individually people become responsible, and not only the clubs.
Steve? Arsene, you've got a pretty big period coming up. Liverpool, Dortmund, Manchester United next week, and then Southampton. Is this the period that defines your season, do you think?
It is an important period, of course, I agree with you, but I'm quite confident, and you can see that I'm quite relaxed, because I have a complete confidence that we'll deal well with that period. And I take that as an opportunity to show our strengths, and I'm completely sure that the players will be up for it and take this opportunity.
Presumably in your team talks, the name Luis Suarez comes up quite frequently. How do you specifically deal with his threat?
I think our target is to have the ball and not and master the situation, because we are dominating and we have more the ball than our opponents. And if we have the ball a lot, we do not need to worry too much about our opponents. And that will be the target tomorrow.
And just finally from me, Andre Arshavin has criticised the Arsenal home supporters being very quiet in their vocal support towards you. I mean, what's your take on that, and do you agree with him?
Look, I always said many times that I believe that we had a difficult period at the Emirates last season, where people were very sceptical about us, and they were as well a bit sceptical about him, you know, and they didn't give him the support that every player needs. I think I always thought in my job it's down to us to get the crowd on our side, and the positive vibes come from the team. And since the start of the season, apart the exceptional, that was exceptionally violent, not violent but noisy, against Aston Villa, the crowd was massively behind us, and even against Dortmund, or even the other night against Chelsea, the crowd was completely behind the team. And I think this season the crowd has a completely different attitude.
Arsene, some people have said your position at the top of the table is a false position because of the fixtures you've had so far. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
I don't think so, but I respect everybody's opinion, and it's down to us to prove them wrong, you know. And that's why I say if you look at the longer results from January until now, it shows, in fact, that the position we are in is the continuity of what we have started early 2013. And if you take a bigger, distant perspective of our situation, it's not a coincidence that we are where we are.
The pursuit of Suarez became public in the summer. You ended up with Mesut Ozil. Do you feel that things actually worked out better for you as a club?
I'm very happy with what I did.
In the last 6 seasons in the Premier League, you only managed to beat Liverpool once at the Emirates, but you had a better record at Anfield. Why is that? What do you think?
Look, we have a good away record in the recent years, and we suffered a bit more at home. And Liverpool is an example of that. And one of the targets of this season is, of course, to turn that round. And we need our supporters to do that. And I'm confident the supporters will help us to do that tomorrow.
Okay, last couple now, James.
Arsene, there was a question at the AGM last month asking whether there were any moral reservations about bidding for Luis Suarez. Were there?
Look, I don't want to come out on that. The player has been punished for what he did, and we have high moral grounds. And of course, we take information about the moral level of the players, and when there is any restriction about it, we do not buy the players.
Is it hard though to judge someone like him? Because he's obviously a great player, but there's so much that comes with it.
Well, that's a debate. I don't want to go in it now. You know, it's not the right place, 24 hours before the game like that, to speak about that.
And just finally, did you feel you were badly advised about that whole situation? Suarez?
Well, again, the details of all that will maybe come out one day. Maybe not in my book, in somebody else's book.
Arsene, have you got any update on Theo? You didn't mention him earlier.
Theo, earliest Manchester United. I think it will be a bit short for Manchester United.
With Mesut, do you feel he plays with a little bit more, is able to play in Europe with a bit more expression and freedom, and compared to how he has to adapt his game?
Well, he's in an adaptation period at the moment to the English game, and I asked him about the difference between the Liga and the Premier League, and he knows that the physical challenges here and the physical side of the game is much more intense, and that the teams keep going here until the last minute, no matter what happens. And he's adapting, but he's an exceptional football player, and I'm very happy that he decided to join us.
How do you view setting your team up for next week when you go over to Germany? Is it a fixture that you cannot afford to lose rather than one you have to win?
That's a good question, because to win for us anyway will mean it will put us in a strong position, but after that anyway you will have to make a good result in Naples, because you could expect Naples to beat Marseille at home, and no matter what happens, that game will become of a huge importance.
Okay, guys.